Okay, how is the book industry doing? Well, it's not doing so well. 6.4% decline in 2009, according to BookScan, in nonfiction U.S. sales. Book sales in the United States peaked in 2007. They've been declining since then, according to the figures. In bookstore chains, they're doing especially poorly. 12% decline between 2007 and 2009. What are the challenges going forward? Well, I would direct your attention in your folders. There is the 10 Awful Truths about book publishing. That has been updated a couple of weeks ago. Every time I update it once a year. It gets worse and worse. It's more awful and more awful. And so, in 2009, there were over 1 million books published in the United States. That's up from about 560,000 the year before. Now, what's happened is the number of books by the main book publishers has stayed about even, but there's been an explosion of self-publishing, and then recently an explosion of companies that are bringing formerly out-of-print books back into print on demand, and that makes up most of the growth. Because of that, it's harder and harder to sell books every year. We've got the digital revolution going on, which we're going to be talking a lot about in this meeting. The problem with it is that we have to change the wheels on the car while we're racing down the road at 70 miles an hour, and because nothing else has stopped. There's nothing that's gone away just because we've got the digital. We've got all the new digital stuff, and the other problem with it is that so far it is not expanding the pie. Probably a better way of saying it is that the whole pie has been shrinking faster than the new digital is expanding, is what's going on. The problem in book publishing is the extreme number of new product introductions. We bring out 30 to 40 new product introductions a year. To give an example, Procter & Gamble, largest consumer goods company in the world, brings out about 50 new products a year, but they have $70 billion in revenues. And so do the math, and we're doing about the same number of new product introductions. How is Berrett Koehler doing financially? Are we surviving and thriving despite the economic downturn? Our revenues were down in 2009 by 6%, which is about the same as, according to BookScan, as nonfiction book publishing did. We think we actually did a little better than the market because it appears that business book publishing was hit harder than the market in general, according to anecdotal information from bookstores, in particular the shrinking of business books. So we think that in our category we actually did a little better, but there isn't any good information about that. Despite the downturn, our profit went up. Our pre-tax profit went up from $58,000 to $74,000. Those are pretty tiny numbers for our profit the last 2 years in 2008 and 2009. The bright side is that at least we made a profit when a lot of other companies were losing money. We earned profits both years. And the bright side is that we did so without layoffs. Something in the order of 70–80% of book publishers had layoffs. We did not. We also did not cut back our publishing program. A lot of other publishing companies cut back their publishing program. We didn't do either one. Now, the good news is that this year is a complete another story. Our revenues are way up. 21.5% above a year ago, and about 7% above plan so far this year. Our profits are way up. We had last year at this time, at the end of May, we had a loss of $104,000. This year we have a profit of $230,000 as of the end of May, and which is our plan was only for $38,000, $37,914, and so we're beating our plan by a good margin. How are we doing that? We've had a lot of cost cuts. The biggest in terms of dollars is we've eliminated a lot of our less effective marketing expenses. We've reduced healthcare insurance costs. We did not have layoffs, but what we did instead of layoffs was we spread the pain around the whole staff. So we had across the board salary cuts of 10% for most of the staff The lowest rung didn't have a salary cut, and then the next lowest had a 5%. Most everyone else had a 10%. Of that 10%, as of January 1st, half of it was restored. As of today, the final half was restored. So we're now back to where we were at the beginning of Mike wants you to clap. We're back to where we were at the beginning of 2009. No bonuses were paid in 2009. We are getting a small bonus at the end of July, this July. There were no promotions in 2009 or 2010. We delayed replacing a staff member, negotiated office rent reductions, negotiated printing cost savings with the printers. Thank you to our printers here. Negotiated trade distribution fee reduction with our trade distributor. That's actually happening right now. Negotiated reduction in audit fees. Negotiated cost savings with some of our other suppliers and book producers. So we pretty much have done cost cutting throughout the whole company. How has Berrett Koehler's cash flow been, and where is it headed? That was Bill Upton's question. The answer is in 2008, we were bleeding cash. We were negative $289,000, which was made up for by increase in borrowings. In 2009, on the other hand, our operating activities were generating cash, $262,000. The result of the turnaround financially is that I have to remember to pay attention here to the minutes there. The total liabilities have decreased by $534,000 from a year ago. Welcome, Steve Butler, who has been working with Berrett Koehler since about 1993. So we're thankful that he's here with our 401k plan. He's Mr. 401k, and I just introduced you. So this is big, that we've reduced our liabilities so much. This is tremendous progress. It's something we worked very hard on. In your packet, I'd like you to take a look at, we set out priorities for managing how to make it through the recession, how to make it through the sales shortfall. The handout's in your folder. It talks about the guiding principles: integrity, mission and strategies, participation, efficiency and effectiveness. And I think we did a pretty good job of sticking to those. Those really mattered to us, and so that's what guided us during this period. On turning to another topic, a lot of Berrett Koehler books continue to win awards. 11 in the last year, 11 books won 14 awards. If you look in the catalog, there's a section every year in every catalog that tells about recent awards. So I'm not going to repeat them here, but that you can always find that. So we've got how much time left?
We have 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Okay, so I've got 2 minutes for questions right now, if anyone has a question that they'd like to ask about this section of the presentation.